Welcome to Tracing Your Family Roots. My name is Arlene Sachs, and this is Sally Ann Sachs. And today we're going to try something a little bit different. We're going to try to be online and show you some of the most valuable, or what we've decided are the most valuable websites for doing genealogical research. And the one I think that I've gotten the most information from is FamilySearch, which is sponsored by the Mormon Church, Church of Christ of the Latter-day Saints. And the website is www.familysearch.org, and that's where I'm at right now in the main part. Now
here's what I do. What I'd like to do is show some of the databases they have. So if you click on Search for Your Ancestors, and then you'll get all resources. Now let's take one of my family names. Let's take Amdur, which is my maiden name, A-M-D-U-R, and then just go down.
That's all
I'm going to do, and then put in search, and look and see what you get. Now, you see here some names on an ancestral file, but then on the right, they say matches were found for the IGI for Africa, the IGI for continental Europe, for North America, and so on. So let's look at the one that I was going to do next was the IGI for continental Europe. Continental Europe. Now, you see three names there. If you click on those three names, you're going to see something rather amazing. They all come from the same place.
So one person submitted.
No, go down a little bit. No. New York marriage records. I don't know if you're aware, the IGI can only be used by people who are Mormons. And it's used by the church to, as a list for people to do what's called temple ordinances, the rituals that are part of their religion, and they need to know who's already had these rituals performed on them. That's where they do the posthumous baptism. So there's two sources of data on this website. There's the stuff, the records that the church as a church extracts and makes and sends out to its members to extract. And then there's the contributions from the individuals.
That's what I always thought this was.
It is not. The church as a church has now extracted all the marriages in New York City at the beginning of the 20th century. So if you start going in, you're going to find so many Jewish names. And if you haven't found your records for your marriages in New York City yet, this is a good place to go.
Will it show the actual?
Well, the batch number. Well, no, it won't. It will.
But it'll tell you where to look, so that you could then go to.
Right. This will show you the date if you haven't, and who they married. Go up a little bit. So, for example, the person. So
parents.
We have go up. Gussie, who misspelled funny. Gussie's father was David Amdur, and her mother was Pessa Siegel probably. And then go down a little further, and it tells you who she married. Gussie married Philip Walsh on September 9th, 1909, and it's in the New York records.
Okay, so then if you wanted the actual marriage record,
you can write to New York.
You can write to, at least you know exactly what to tell them and the date that you can.
Absolutely. Now, if you go back up, if we have a few more minutes on this site, let's go back, and we're going to go now to scroll down to Pedigree resource, the Pedigree resource file, where it says there are more than 25. And the first one up there shocked me when I saw it. Dina Amdur. Click on Dina. Dina, as you see.
It's on a compact disc.
Yes, and she was born in 1926. She died a few months later. That's her father, Simon Zalka Amdur, is my uncle, my father's oldest brother.
And you never knew that?
I knew this information. Now, they've got the mother's name wrong. My Aunt Mary's maiden name was Rose, not Ross. But go down a little further.
It says Rose.
It was Ross, not Rose.
Oh.
The submitter, there's his name, John Robert Friedberg. Well, who is he? Click on Simon Zalka for a minute and you'll see something even more amazing. There are my grandparents, Gedalia Wolf Amdur and Rachelea Shulkin. And so now go down to this John Friedberg guy. I said, now who is he? I've never heard of him. I've been doing this.
And did you?
To find John. I've sent off a letter saying, who are you? Are you related to me? Because he's got all my Amders listed on that pedigree.
And remember, I saw Amders in a cemetery in Chicago, so you've got to have a branch.
Oh, they're all, right, so go back up here a bit more.
We're going all the way back?
To back.
Yeah.
Now,
back further?
well, if you go down a little more on this pedigree resource, these are not people who are necessarily, these are not Mormon religious records. The IGI is, and can only exist.
So, but the pedigree resource would be that somebody has
anybody,
submitted.
anybody can submit it.
Who has anybody who has submitted a file.
Right, and they are linked they are linked pedigrees. If you go way down to Simon, which is number 9. Oops. Okay, try Simon. Let's see what you get here. There he is. Now look, this is a different Simon Zalka, and he was born in 1872. And now I'm going to show. He actually was my grandfather's brother.
Okay.
So I've learned a lot. There's a lot about my family, and it says where he was born. If you click on him, because we're going to use another record in a while.
I'm amazed because I not used these. I thought they were mostly submissions. I didn't think I'd find Jewish names there.
Did I find? No, I guess this one doesn't show. Let's go further. Does it show that he was born
Submitted.
in Bratislava? No. Okay, we'll get him on another. Okay, up a little, back, click. No, that's what's so amazing about this is that.
Oh, well, here it says something who was born in Bratislava.
Okay, he died. Oh, it says he was, there it does. He was born in Bratislava and he died in London. Okay, now that's one, the pedigree resource file is a linked resource, linked as you can see.
Yeah.
The ancestral file is the third thing, and that's just individual names. The other thing for Jewish genealogists to pay attention to is that list on the back. It's very valuable to just enter, if you have a fairly unusual name, just scroll down over here. I'm sorry, Arlene. Africa. Who would think there would be Amders in Africa?
Well, they might have gone to South Africa.
That's where it is. The church is extremely active in South Africa, and if you click on that.
Well, I want to show something else.
Go ahead.
Let me, because we only have a few minutes on each one. What I have used most often, not knowing that, is the library catalog, and you can do a place search. And I'll do Balbron, France.
And you found something.
Yeah, and what it eventually does is give me the civil, it'll say it has the civil records. And this is where I found birth, death, and marriage records from 1700s, from when the first started well,
what you're talking about now is the catalog, exactly. So we have two major groups here. We have the catalog, which is so tremendously important, but also it's well to know that they have large databases of names.
Yes.
Which I would go to first because it's if you have anything relative, and even if it's Cohen, forget it.
Yeah.
But I just did a Zach thing and created a whole family tree from the IGI.
Now I've clicked on that. This is the registrations of the civil registrations, and then you can get somewhere here, view film notes, and it'll tell you what the films are. Birth, death, and marriage records, and then you can get the original ones, and you copy down that number, go to your local Mormon church, and you'll get a copy of the original records.
Church, Mormon Library.
Mormon Library. Family History Library of the Family of the Church of the Christ of Latter-day Saints. You can go there, and for, I don't know, very nominal fee, $2 or something, you get that record, and then you can scroll through it and get a picture of the original document, which is what I have done an awful lot of.
Right, see, because you went back quite a long way. Bernard Kahn is your, how many times great-grand?
My great-great-grandfather, and that had his birth certificate from 1790. His birth certificate from 1793 and the marriage from 1792.
Right.
So we're way back there. Now, I think we need to look at some of the others because we've already gone through about almost half the show.
Okay. Well, let's hit go to Steve Morris's Ellis Island database. And
Okay.
the Ellis Island database has, what, 24 million names, and we are a nation of immigrants, so I think we should do Ellis Island. But unfortunately, though
There we go.
the Mormon Church created that Ellis Island database, and the number of typographical errors is legend. And so Steve Morris has figured out how to do better.
Then we go to the blue form.
White form. No,
White
the blue form. The white form has corrections. The blue form doesn't have the corrections. Now,
Okay, who do you
well,
want?
I'm going to put in my Amder again, the one who was the father of that
Okay,
baby
that's a
that
first
died.
name. Do you want a first name? Or
No, leave that out because you're going to see
Okay.
something really weird about it.
Amder, we'll just put in Amder.
And yeah, that's
starts
right.
exactly like,
Right.
starts with?
Go right down, just go straight down now, and get to where you're going to check off the Hebrew, up, Jews and Hebrews.
Oh, I
H,
didn't read it.
Hebrew Jewish,
Okay.
up here. Okay, go down a little more. Now, wait, did we have anything else about what years? Hold on, maybe we have to go
Oh, yeah.
back up to years.
That should be above that.
All right, let me see.
Yeah.
I
Specify
would,
years.
of
year-
arrival, 1906, no, 19, he actually, okay, put in 1907, just to put in something. I think they came in 1906. Age at arrival, put 5, and then put 7 over here, and that's all. Don't do any more. It says only do 2. Okay, now go down and do search and see what you get. It's something
Search old format or new?
new. It's very funny. I hope it doesn't take us too long. It's slow.
Well, it's Sunday afternoon. So, okay, what?
What it comes out is that Simon Amder shows up on this as Solke, S-O-L-K-E Amder, from, I know what
Okay, here we go, Solka, right here.
right, from Polotsk, which is close enough. But unless, oh, you
86.
got David.
I've got
Okay.
Dave,
Oh, his
David
brother's
also.
with him also. But you notice the spelling error. You have to know who you're...
David.
Well, David's fine, but the Simon is really very odd. But since I knew who he was, I could figure him out. But
So in other words,
but you still want to use Steve Morris because it's the closest you can get to getting past all those.
Now, Stephen Morse has a bunch of other stuff. As long as we're talking about him, let's go back to that website and just scroll through some of the marvelous things that he has. Not only of course, the Ellis Island, but all sorts of ship records, Morton Allen Directory, Castle Garden, which is not exactly Ellis Island, but
No,
close
it's
by.
earlier. It's
the
earlier.
earlier records, and then
All these others.
other immigration lists from all over the place, or not all over the place, from many places. The 19.
Lots of census. He's very good on censuses because he's, you know, do you know the story? You know Steve Morse is the guy who who has the patent, had the patent on the computer chip that's in this?
Oh my God, yes. I
Yes,
heard that,
so
yes.
he really is quite a smart man.
I don't think all of 1930 has been done because I was looking for some name today and it said that part wasn't
Why
finished.
don't we move on to some of those other databases that we might not have time to hit
Okay, so
otherwise.
anyway, that's certainly one that you want to check out.
And then I'd like to check out one that not everybody knows about that I have found tremendously helpful. And that is the Hamburg.
Okay, I have not used that. What's the?
It's called Link to Your Roots.
Well,
Link to Your
link
Roots.
to your. Whoops.
This is again being as how we are an immigrant nation and
Roots
lots of people
dot
came
org.
through. Hamburg. .de
/index.
index. This is where lots of our relatives set sail to come to the United States. And if you can't, and it has some information that Ellis Island often doesn't have. What it always has is the last residence abroad. And so for the early years before the United States was asking that, it has it. And so that's what makes it.
How far back do they go?
I don't know if they've gone into the late 1850s. They hold those records, but they maybe haven't done them yet. They tell you once you get on the site exactly.
It's not doing anything.
No, are we not going to
It says it's opening and it says it's done it all.
Oh, well, I guess we won't
Okay.
catch that one. So,
Let's go on and try another
do
one.
you want to try Yad Vashem?
Yes, let's certainly do that.
Okay, while you're doing it, we will just tell people who maybe don't know that it's the Holocaust Memorial in Jerusalem that has computerized. Click on
Well,
here.
let me,
Central database, right here, click here. That has computerized something called the Pages of Testimony, and now it's computerizing lots more additional things from its archives that go into this massive database.
now I can show you my grandfather, because I know that that'll be in there.
Okay. Rosenthal. You don't have to put all that information, but it helps.
Well, there's an awful lot of them.
There are an awful lot of Jacob Rosenthal's.
Do you want search or advanced search?
Which do you like? Well, let's try search first.
Should come up with it. I think it comes up with several.
Which is your Jacob? Do you know?
Yeah, I guess when I've done this, the other one,
Have you done advanced search before?
yeah.
Okay, try advanced search, because as you can see, they have list of victims, they have list of deportations, they have pages of testimony, and of course they have a second page.
He was born in.
Where was
Let's go back and do the oh well.
Advanced search? Or was he in the list of Jewish victims, the
Yeah.
Gedenk book?
He's listed several times. Okay.
Now, is the picture of it? I can't see the picture. Usually you can click on it and get a picture of the page of testimony.
Yeah, so we're going to look.
Oh, this is the Gedenk book.
Okay, this is from the Gedenk book. That's
which
not
is the list of Jewish victims.
Yeah, so that'll just be a line then. So that's.
But here's a story about him. He was born in 1874. He lived in Frankfurt on Main. Information on list of victims.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is him, but it's.
Of victims from the backs of these books, and they're starting to index them.
It's funny that I don't see him listed. He was born in Niederweitbach, and I had him earlier, so because I had gone to the advanced search. Sometimes you don't get the same things in both
No, right.
of them.
So just write Rosenthal, Jacob,
and exact. And let's see, leave the year of birth. He was and I can even put the submitter.
Oh, you know who the submitter
My
was?
sister.
Huh.
That's why I'm sure that this one is back. So let's do the search now.
Okay.
We've got 10 minutes. Oh, I don't know why it's doing that.
So sometimes this is unfortunate.
I might have typed something wrong or something, because I know I was doing it this morning, and I definitely have.
If we have a moment, do the AMDR one.
Right here?
Yeah,
Enter?
and get rid of your other stuff.
Oh, you have to click new clear.
Okay.
Something where there must be.
Get out of. Go. Hit basic search. Now
we come up here.
Okay, change that to
Clear.
AMDR. Okay, just do AMDR and nothing else. Just do search.
Clear
over
search.
here.
Don't you come up with an awful lot that way?
Well, it wasn't as common in name as you think. But look at list of victims from Yisker books. I just want to show you. I brought a visual.
Okay, good.
This is the Yisker book for the Jews from that town. And what they've started to do is to go through these names.
Wonderful.
And especially for those of us who don't read Hebrew, it's
yes,
so nice.
That's certainly.
So
but look how many we have. We have six
pages. But actually, if you go all the way up to the top, you'll see that's that same town of Braslav where my Simon Zolka came from. This is the home of the Amders, and it was where most of them came from. And all these towns around are little towns that are in this Yisker book, because they're little towns in the vicinity. So you learn a lot that way too. But we forgot JewishGen.
Okay, well, let's do that, because
which calls itself what? The home of Jewish genealogy. It's certainly the home of Jewish genealogy on the web.
Oh, that was really
Without
be
doubt.
one of the first places I would go to,
If you're
because
doing Jewish genealogy, of course.
it is, because they link to everything else. If nothing else, you'll find a link to all of the other different places. It's also got the bulletin boards, the
SIGs.
where you can ask a question and so on.
Right. Okay, go down and show what they have.
Okay, they have frequently asked questions. They have info files, which are sources from people asking questions. It's their sort of history.
They have one on the Mormon IGI, which is very good.
The Family Finder is where people have submitted names. Then they have a lot of databases, Stettel Seeker, the discussion groups. That's a term I was trying to think of.
The archives, which is very valuable. You can look up past things that way.
The Family Tree of the Jewish People is family trees that people have submitted. The discussion group, anybody really wanting to do genealogy, Jewish genealogy, should subscribe to the discussion group. And then myriads of Stettel links, special SIGs. Oops.
This page can't be found?
I tell you, things aren't, something must be down. Anyway, there are lots of special SIGs on Germany, on Eastern Europe, on
They've made an
Lithuania.
effort to get every country that they can think of.
So,
and
you
they
know,
have a special one for rabbis, and they have they have Sephardic. They have all the major countries in Europe where Jews came from.
Yeah. The Yisker Book Project, that's where they're trying to
They're working in conjunction with Yad Vashem. They're doing some Yisker books. Yad Vashem itself is doing Yisker books, of course, are books written by survivors of the Holocaust, memorializing their communities. They're town-based.
the Stettel links, listening.
Stettel links. I have.
Just put it up by somebody who's working on a particular
Right.
town.
And they have, of course, this cemetery things. They have quite.
This is the burial register, which is different from the cemeteries that I worked on for 6 years. Well, we started these burials as well.
And they've added genealogy by genetics.
Talk about this one. This is the Yad Vashem one, the record of names from the Holocaust victims.
Right.
Talk because my throat.
Okay, I'll do the talking for you. Also, if you go down under hosted organizations, it tells you about the upcoming Las Vegas conference. We have a new conference every year. If you have the ability to sit at your computer for a long time, which I don't, and you can spend a whole week going through this website, and you wouldn't finish it off.
Well, some of the things where you're not exactly going to get names, but is the cemetery project, which is the one I was involved with for so long. And they've changed it quite a bit, but you can list any place in the world. Let's go just to America. No, we're North
America?
Yeah, just to Virginia.
Okay.
That's what everybody's around here would know. Just to give you an idea, but it's from all over the world. And this would give you a list of all of the cemeteries that are in the state, all the Jewish cemeteries, or all the cemeteries that have any known Jewish burials. And it lists them by Alexandria, Arlington, Bristol, in alphabetical order.
Your glasses. You took off your glasses and you're reading.
I can't read the computer with my glasses on, especially not the way this is set up. So it's set up a little bit different right now, so it'll go better on the TV screen.
Before we run out of time, can we do the Consolidated Jewish Surname Index?
Oh yes, that's at Avotenu.
This is at Avotenu, and it even started before JewishGen existed.
Yes.
I
remember when we had those piles of printouts.
Go down, up, where is it? No, keep going down. And what it is, of course, is a database of databases. And keep going further down. That just
you don't want to do the ancestry.
Now put in my AMDers. I've just got to show you.
Oh yeah, I know that.
And look at, keep going down. Look at, whoa. There's the string of resources where these exist.
And now let's look at the bottom of this same page. So let's see, B, C, D, H, and I. We'll just remember those to begin with.
I have, yes.
And down here it lists, so B is the All-Lithuanian database, D is the All-Latvian database.
And you can click onto them. And if you click onto the
Lithuanian,
go down, search the database. Let's see if it'll come up fast enough. Put in AMDR. Start the search. now we wait. Oh, these little things go slowly. But one of the things it shows is passports and documents, and I found some relatives. But the one that was most interesting to me this morning of that long string, the last one that I have is the Poor Jews Temporary Shelter in London, where I went in 1987 and went through book by book, and I didn't find anybody. And it's online, and there is one. There is definitely one. I found several, actually, who had sailed out of Bremen, and it was a whole resource. You would, let's see, passports and...
No, it says Lithuanian. It's come up with something else. Litvak.
Oh, I was doing passports on the other one. You can click any of these buttons. This one has only 2, and we'll see what we got. Then you have to put in your, forget it. Okay. But what I found was 2 relatives of mine who were fleeing the country, who had fled the country, and the military was looking for them because they had been called up for the draft, and they were back. They had managed to get to the United States.
I should say that if you get to this login where you have to have an ID and a password, there is no charge for it, and you just have to.
You do it once,
and they just want to make sure that people are not using it illegally, I think. And
JewishGen is marvelous. JewishGen hosts the Consolidated Jewish Surname Index, and I will tell you that a couple weeks ago we got a message from them saying somebody's trying to download your whole database.
Whoops.
We caught him. He was a student in California, and we threatened him with the FBI.
Well, anyway, there's a lot. I hope we've gotten some people started perhaps on this and see how much they can do and what they can do on.
Next time, I'm going to talk about going to courthouses just to get us off of our seats and out of our computers.
Okay.
So that's why we wanted our database, and Gary said there's another way of doing it. It's called